Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Cars were running around with their lights off, and it was obvious that they were chasing each other, but the icing on the cake was when the shots were fired.
One West Fargo man tells us what he saw the night of April 13th that prompted him to call police. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Mike has the night off. This is one of a number of gunshot reports less than 24 hours apart that police in Fargo and West Fargo are investigating. Now 2 men are in jail for their roles. Patrick Watson of West Fargo is charged with reckless endangerment for allegedly shooting at a man around 4 p.m. last Thursday in a North Fargo neighborhood. 18-year-old Naden Khoury is charged with aggravated reckless endangerment in connection with shots being fired in West Fargo. Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic talks with police and people in the neighborhood who agree the random gunfire is scary.
I noticed a couple of cars coming down the street here, and they were chasing each other. And that happens once in a while with kids, but so then they came around again and ended up going down to the end of the cul-de-sac here, and that's when I heard 3 shots fired, and that's when I picked up the phone and called the police.
David Spaeth was one of many to report the shooting incident to the West Fargo police.
It's not something that we hear in this neighborhood, and so I knew it was important to get that information to the police.
It was frightening for me as a police officer to see stuff like this. It was a lot more frightening for the people that were driving down the road at the time this running gun battle was going on.
15 gunshots went off the night of the West Fargo shooting, and police eventually arrested a person responsible.
We got a lot of phone calls on this, and then the follow-up to the phone calls led to the arrest of Mr. Khoury.
Both Fargo and West Fargo police don't believe the 2 shooting incidents are related.
We don't have the complete story. There might be people out there that do. We'd certainly appreciate any calls on that or anybody that may have information.
Neighbors are worried what could happen next.
It's very concerning, you know, when you have random acts of violence like this and disregard for other people's safety.
And police are grateful for the public's help.
Sometimes people think they're bothering the police. This was certainly a case where they were not bothering the police. This is our job to investigate this.
The quicker people respond to this, the quicker that the police can pursue it and put an end to the situation.
Making the Fargo community a safer place to live. Giovanna Simic, Valley News Live.
In the West Fargo case, police have questioned the person who was in the other vehicle but haven't charged them yet. They say a vehicle and a house were both hit by gunfire during that incident. Authorities have confirmed that a body found in Havana, North Dakota is in fact that of Sherry Ann Glover. Glover was found in an area where a massive ground search was underway earlier today, about a mile away from her home. Volunteers were searching for Glover, who was last seen Wednesday morning in Havana. Police say Glover had a history of mental illness and was believed to be on foot. A cause of death has not been determined yet. Sunny and warm out there today, a great way to start off the weekend. Let's head over to Hutch Johnson to see how long the nice weather will last. Hutch?
Andrea, the nice weather is going to last into the start of our weekend, but we do have a couple of weather wiggles to go over here in a moment. But for this evening, if you're heading out and about, you'll notice the mild temperatures down south, and it is cooler up to the north. Roseau, 50 degrees. Langdon at that same reading. A few more clouds up along the international border, and some showers of rain in Roseau and Lake of the Woods County are present on the radar. But for the rest of us, it looks like a quiet and very fine Friday evening. Temperatures this evening will be in the 50s through bedtime, and then after that we'll succumb to some 40s out there. We do have some heavy rain showers in the forecast as we close out the weekend. We'll have details on the timing of that, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. 1 or 2 storms might be a little strong. I'll have details on all of that here in a moment.
Yeah, we're curious about the weekend. Thank you. We have some new information for you now. We now know the name of the woman who is in custody in connection with the death of a 1-year-old girl. She has been identified as 42-year-old Janelle Red Dog, and today she confirmed to police that she did it. Investigators say Red Dog admitted to punching Kensley Olson 3 times, which led to the 1-year-old's death. She also confessed to putting the child in a duffel bag and placing the bag in a dumpster. No formal charges have been filed yet. Red Dog is being held without bond. 1-year-old Kensley Olsen's body was found in Poplar, Montana. That's where she disappeared, and it prompted an Amber Alert in North Dakota. The case is still under investigation. A man is in critical condition after being hit by a train in Jamestown. 60-year-old Dennis Schneider of Jamestown was hit by a slow-moving train at the crossing at 2nd Avenue yesterday. Family friends say Schneider was in his wheelchair crossing the tracks when his tire got stuck in the tracks. He was airlifted to Sanford Health in Fargo. The Department of Public Safety and West Metro Police Department will be holding a news conference to discuss the significant rise in marijuana wax seizures in Minnesota. Public safety and healthcare officials want to talk about the dangers of using and manufacturing wax and how to recognize the product. Studies show that in just the first quarter of 2016, more than 12 pounds of marijuana concentrates were seized. That's compared to less than a quarter of a pound in all of 2015. Here's a breakdown of those numbers. In 2011, just under half a pound of wax was collected, and by 2015, that number jumped to 27 pounds. Statewide, marijuana wax seizures have increased 665% in just 5 years. A Fargo man is asking the city commission to consider allowing all emergency officials to carry Narcan. FM Ambulance has had Narcan for quite some time, but paramedics are not required to carry it. The man is proposing that all City of Fargo law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders be equipped with opiate overdose reversal kits and first aid emergency breathing masks. He tells us a family member of his is a drug addict and calls Narcan a miracle medicine that's saving lives. The proposal is set to be discussed at Monday's Fargo City Commission meeting. It's Friday and time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 44-year-old Craig Olson is wanted for felony theft of property. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on Craig Olson. We're learning today that it's possible Prince may have been suffering from an opioid addiction before he died. In a news conference this afternoon, investigators wouldn't comment on it, but said there was no trauma to Prince's body or any indication that it was a suicide. A local emergency doctor says that's why we need to keep warning people about the continuing danger of heroin and fentanyl overdoses happening here in the Valley.
Every day we see somebody with an addiction-related problem. So it's definitely very prominent in our community. Yep, it's prominent in our community. It's much worse than it was, I would say, 5 years ago.
Police say that right now on the streets of Grand Forks, there are very small doses of drugs that are deadly. A free community forum regarding drug overdoses in Grand Forks will be held Tuesday, May 10th at the Empire Arts Center. And people are currently petitioning for Terminal 1 at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport to be renamed after Prince. A petition has been set up on change.org to get Prince's name installed as the official title of the terminal. The terminal is still frequently referred to as the Lindbergh Terminal after one-time Minnesota resident Charles Lindbergh. What do you think of all this? Let us know on our Facebook page. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. MSUM students got a special look inside businesses in downtown Fargo in an effort to show how each space impacts each company. Students toured 7 businesses, including U.S. Bank, Myriad Mobile, and Dogs ID. It's the university's first ever Dragon Business Crawl, where people in each downtown location explain how and why the space is designed to help their business succeed and to help student success as well.
They're going to have different jobs to choose from or different opportunities to pursue when they graduate. And we want to make sure that they pursue the opportunity that best fits their interests so that when they land that job's a good fit for them and they're a good fit for the business. Everybody wins.
Other featured businesses included Absolute Marketing, Super Studio, Ide Bailey, and Prairie Den. It's a class that can help keep your little one safe. Details later on Valley News Live at 6.
We had a fair day to close out our work week this Friday with a lot of 60s down south, cooler 50s in northwest Minnesota this evening as a few more clouds are present there. Coming up, some heat in your forecast, but rain as well and rumbles of thunder. Your hour-by-hour forecast is straight ahead.